movie is going to be released soon, and the world is excited and terrified at the same time. Excited since this is Gunn's debut of the DCU, officially, and scared because, well, it's Superman. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. There has been a straight concept of Superman that hasn't been changed for decades. Of course, a few minor changes were seen as every director had their take on the character, but this time it's James Gunn, and some of the scenes are what you can call cringy. We were given a sneak peek into James Gunn's Superman, and we agree with Gunn's fans that the film has a little non-serious and cringy vibe. James Gunn's Superman footage has a scene so cringe that we rue the day Henry Cavill quit DC. With Gunn having a different taste, a dash of humor, and a lot of iconic shots in a film, this wasn't really what Superman had been so far. Countless iterations later, Gunn's Superman is ready to be revealed to the world. Finally, the first reviews are here. That is a question that fans have been dying to know, and equally terrified to find out, ever since it was announced that the Guardians of the Galaxy director was going to direct this film. According to the conversation on the hot mic, fans talked about how the new scenes from Superman seem cringy. Even host John Rocha seemed to agree that the scenes did look very cringy. And it seems that people are now regretting the day Henry Cavill hung the iconic cape for the last time. New footage from the upcoming Superman has been revealed to the world, and fans are indeed excited. However, there is one complaint that a majority of the people seem to be having regarding the film. There is something magical about the director. Gunn can find a way to incorporate humor into the darkest of situations, and it would still make people laugh. The director has proved himself countless times with the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise and the Suicide Squad. Even though there might be some people who would defend the movie by stating that it's too early to say anything, others are already spreading negative reviews on the internet. John Rocha and fans even compared a particular scene to that of a Pixar movie, and it is quite evident that they are not wrong. The scenes in question are when Superman is helped by the robots in hopes of recovering enough to fight back. During that whole segment, the CGI looks awkward, and the suit has a weird feel to it. The CGI really breaks down the barrier of full immersion, as we got distracted in trying to find out what went wrong. On the other hand, something's up with James Gunn's humor. In a tense moment where Gunn's iconic humor usually works, the dialogue seems stifled and cringy. To put it bluntly, we were really excited to see the teaser for Superman. Now, we aren't so sure about the film. James Gunn and David Corenswet's Superman could really be the maker or breaker of DC Studios and the DCU. We sincerely hope and wish that Gunn's Superman becomes a hit and not another failed DC project. Superman is slated for a release date of July 11, 2025. The old versus new Superman debate that pits David Corenswet and Henry Cavill against each other will certainly overstay its welcome, and with every new bit of information, it's only going to get intense. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. The recent topic of debate is the DC character's bond with the sun, which has always been central to his narrative. The contrast between how Zack Snyder's and James Gunn's versions of the superheroes heal themselves speaks volumes. The latter has gone for a complete shift in his interpretation, so let's look at how these two differ. David Corenswet's Superman heals with high-tech sunlight, while Henry Cavill's uses raw power. Here's how their approaches define each version. We see the Fortress of Solitude emerge, the superhero's headquarters, away from civilization. Krypto tugs on his cape and brings him inside, where a squad of cape-clad advanced robots is ready to receive and treat him. The latest sneak peek of David Corenswet's Superman features a starkly different vision from what we've previously seen. James Gunn opens the scene with our injured hero, who's crashed and landed on the ice, possibly after a battle. He whistles for Krypto the Superdog, who rushes for his aid and begins to drag him. In Man of Steel, we saw Henry Cavill's Kal-El facing overwhelming odds without a safety net. At the moment, he had no access to the Fortress of Solitude and no superpowered allies. His most defining scene came during the World Engine battle, when he was overpowered and brutalized by the terraforming machine's gravity beam. They use concentrated sunlight to heal Superman, and these rays seem to be simulated by Kryptonian technology that bathes him in restorative solar energy. It's evident that Gunn is embracing the whimsical and inventive side of the superhero lore, focusing on world building and not just the character. The way they healed in their respective universes tells us everything about the intention and the story being told. Where Cavill is more like a mythic figure and lone warrior, Cornsweet's iteration suggests that he is part of a world where his heroism is supported by friendship, advanced science, and a superpowered dog. So, Gunn's Superman isn't just a reboot but a tonal reinvention. He seemed broken and alone until a ray of sunlight pierced through the storm clouds. This scene plays out like his rebirth, where he absorbs the solar energy and recharges his cells in real time. Within seconds, he's back to his feet, stronger than ever, ready to obliterate his enemies. So, Zack Snyder's version of Superman was fundamentally alien, and he was struggling to harness his power in a world that already feared him. On the other hand, Gunn's approach suggests that the DC superhero is part of something bigger as he offers a more optimistic and interconnected take on the character. The DCU's big screen adventures will begin on July 11th with Superman, directed and written by Guardians of the Galaxy filmmaker James Gunn. Welcome to Stats In. If you're just joining us, please subscribe and don't forget to turn on notifications bell for more video. Donning the legendary cape this time around will be David Cornsweet with Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Read the full cast for Superman. The DCU will begin this summer with Superman, and James Gunn's DC Studios has many more movies up its sleeves beyond that. Move aside Avengers, Endgame. The DCU is coming to town with its own big blockbuster. DC Studios began production on its second movie at the start of the year with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which will be based on the comic of the same name and star house of the Dragon actress Millie Alcock. The movie will be directed by Cruella's Craig Gillespie with a script from Ana Nogueira. Joining Alcock in Supergirl will be Eve Ridley as the young traveling warrior Ruthie, David Krumholtz and Emily Beecham as Kara Zor-El's parents, Matthias Schoenaerts as the villainous Krem of the Yellow Hills, and Aquaman actor Jason Momoa as Lobo, putting the final nail in the old DCU's coffin. Teasing the DCU's Supergirl, James Gunn confirmed with the slate reveal that she will be much more hardcore than other takes on the character. This take on the Girl of Steel grew up on a chunk of the destroyed Krypton where she watched everyone around her die and be killed in terrible ways. The DCU's big screen adventures will begin on July 11th with Superman, directed and written by Guardians of the Galaxy filmmaker James Gunn. Donning the legendary cape this time around will be David Cornsweet with Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Read the full cast for Superman. The latest Clark Kent will be stepping out into a world already occupied by superheroes, many of whom have lost their hopeful way. Several other heroes such as Hawkgirl, Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, and Guy Gardner's Green Lantern will appear as Superman takes on at least 7 villains. The villain, who is famously made of clay and has the ability to shapeshift, made his DCU debut in an episode of Creature Commandos. While he was voiced in animation by Alan Tudyk, it's unclear who will play him in live action. Batman villain Clayface will lead a horror movie on September 11, 2026, based on a script from Dr. Sleep director Mike Flanagan. Despite taking place in James Gunn's DCU, the Batman director Matt Reeves will produce. Currently, no writer or director is attached to the authority, but as James Gunn called it a passion project during his DCU slate reveal, many have speculated he will take it on as his next movie after Superman. DC Studios will deliver its answer to The Boys with the Authority, which explores a group of cynical, brutally pragmatic superheroes. While good-intentioned, these anti-heroes won't be afraid to cross the line to get things done. The Authority will first be teased in Superman with the introduction of Maria Gabriela de Faria as the Engineer, whose body is made of liquid metal thanks to nanites running through her bloodstream. The Brave and the Bold is separate from Matt Reeves' The Batman franchise, which stars Robert Pattinson. Find out the latest on the next Batman's casting. After the first look at the DCU's Batman appeared in Creature Commandos, fans will meet the new Dark Knight in The Brave and the Bold.